knows?
Dude, hey guys, Jordan Adams here with Rocky talking Bitcoin, crypto cowboys, and all of the exciting stuff that we got going on. So once again, Rocky, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hey man, what's going on? I'm here to lend to the conversation in the way of kind of news items, and Jordan is the Bitcoin financial man. So
now, just tell people how long we've been in the space and kind of what your experience in the space is.
When we get in, like, was it 2017, right at the end of the year, just before the first run up, the big run up?
Right.
So, year and a half, a little bit more than that. And at first, I had no idea like what I was into, but it's been a big learning curve since, and it's been great. Still don't really know what I'm doing, but like it's interesting to me now. So I'm happy to be doing it with you.
Well, you say you don't know what you're doing, but and that's in terms of maybe trading. But as far as you understanding the future of where this is going, as someone that's in their 50s, I mean, it's pretty clear for you that cryptocurrencies are the future. Would you not agree with that?
That part is totally clear to me as far as everything in the world going digital. So how they use cryptocurrency exactly, I don't know, but that's why I want to be involved, because I know it's definitely the next thing, and I don't think that next is too far away.
I completely agree.
Talk about why that is later, right?
Right. So real quickly, guys, we just want you to join our Facebook page here, facebook.com/crypto with a K, KRYPTO Cowboys, backsplash or slash. And we've said this, Rocky, from day one. If you don't want to get involved with crypto because you think it's too volatile, Coinbase has launched a way to do that for free. You literally go on here, and I put a link in the description, Coinbase /earn. You sign up, you create a free account. There is zero commitment. You just watch these videos, right? You can earn $6, $10, $50, $10, and you earn some money with ZRX and Zcash too. So you're looking at probably $100 here that you can earn for free by spending probably 30 minutes of your time, risk free. You literally spend 30 minutes, you can get about $100. So right. if you want to learn something, if you're interested in crypto and you want to learn risk free to see if it's for you, this is a great way to do it.
I really don't know why anybody wouldn't want to do this. We've talked about it before. It's just an easy way to learn. And, if you're scared of crypto because you don't know anything about it, this is the best way to solve that problem. You can make a good decision after you go through some of that, and maybe you'll decide it's not for you at all.
Absolutely. There's just a lot of things happening. I think for me and for you, like once you realize what it is that's happening and you watch these videos, you educate yourself, you're going to understand real quickly why it's the future.
Right. Technology is exploding today. We all know that. We're all using it. So I think kind of in America, what happens is we end up with kind of a media blackout in many ways that we don't even realize. And when you travel, you get outside the country and travel a little bit, you realize other people know a lot more about this particular digital facet of technology than we do. So
absolutely,
we're late to the game in many ways. That's why you and I are such believers in, hey, listen, this is going to happen. They're building a global economy right now.
And it's all going to be digital.
Yeah. The world's going to be virtual and digital in many ways.
Absolutely. Another great way to learn, guys, is go onto Twitter, join crypto Twitter. There's a lot of great people you can follow, and I've said it before. We're so early in this space that this is a day and a time where you can follow the next Steve Jobs. Okay. You will be able to interact personally with the CEOs of billion-dollar companies and they'll respond to your posts. They'll answer questions. This isn't like talking to, Donald Trump before he was president and Twitter. It's like these people are actually engaging with the community, and we're just in a very special time to have the opportunity to to really get to know people, you know. And if you believe that that the space is the future, it's like you can build relationships with the future business guys, you know. And if you're into business, I mean, this is the perfect place to be, because everybody's trying to push this space forward,
Right.
and we all need each other to succeed in it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, so many companies now are at least talking about cryptos, and a lot of companies now have, are making coins, and banks and are doing that. So I don't know why you wouldn't feel the need to actually learn.
Absolutely. Let's real quick look at the Bitcoin chart, the crypto space chart. Now, Rocky, as you know, let's just pay attention to this total market cap. This is market cap, for those that don't know, is the total amount of money that's in the entirety of the space. We have 2,200, almost 2,300 companies, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're at a $373 billion market cap. The market cap, I think maybe 2 or 3 months ago, was like 100 billion. So it's almost quadrupled since then. Bitcoin alone's market cap holds 63% of the entirety of all the money in the space. 63% is in Bitcoin.
Which explains why Bitcoin is the dominant coin.
Right, because people flock to it as a store of value, and again, the Nasdaq is getting involved. All these big companies are getting involved, and over the last couple of weeks, we've seen a very significant rise in price. You can see right here, this was the 1.5 year bear trend all the way down, okay, and then this was the bottoming, and now we've shot up, and we've gone to almost $14,000 in a matter of a couple of weeks.
It's great to show that chart now, Jordan. It was so hard to look at that chart for the longest time, wasn't it?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, every day I just kept telling people, buy more Bitcoin, buy more Bitcoin, and I was doing it, and it was dropping, and it was dropping, and it was dropping, and I knew, again, if you understand the technology and you believe in it, like I do, it's a short-term pain for a long-term gain, right?
Right. Well, everybody was also piling on. Like we had just gotten involved. I had just gotten involved with you. We saw the big bull run, then we saw it go down, and then for that year plus time, everything that you heard from anybody mainstream financially was negative about Bitcoin. And then just slowly over this last year, news just started trickling out daily about, it started to get more positive, and now look at it.
Absolutely, it's picking up, and let me just quickly show you guys something right here. We were at almost 14,000 earlier today. Okay, we dropped about $2,000 in a matter of minutes, and this is what I try to get people to understand when they say, "Hey, I want to get involved with Bitcoin." This market is extremely volatile in both directions. We've gone up $5,000 in the last couple of weeks, and we had a $2,000 drop in today in a matter of minutes. People that are new coming in the space, they see this is going to zero. You and I have been around long enough to know, like, we're in a bull market, and this is going to rebound. And in a matter of 4 or 5 hours, we're back to 13.3. Okay, so there's huge swings in this market, and you just have to prepare yourself when you get into it. This is why it's so important to do your research on what companies and what coins you think have the best chance of sustaining itself, because you're going to see massive drops and massive peaks. Yeah. And you just have to know where you're at in the cycles to determine if this is a good buy or a good sell.
Right. The thing is, Jordan, the overall thing, this is, when I say I don't know that much about it, I don't know much about the trading standpoint, but I've been around it now long enough to understand. I have a feel for the chart. But, the overall, like, we're going towards digital technology. That's a no-brainer, man.
Absolutely.
That's not something you see on a chart. That's, when I look at the chart, I'm like, oh, okay, this thing hasn't disappeared. It didn't just go away. And from the beginning of Bitcoin to now, I mean, how many guys, have made fortunes in this? Many.
Absolutely. And it's the people that understand, where everything's going, why it's going where it's going. Right? Like, they understand that it's going this direction because of all the debt that's been accumulated by nations over the years, by the printing of dollars, by just this overinflation of everything, where the control currently lies with governments to do whatever they want. And Bitcoin is Bitcoin is money for the people, by the people, and there's a limited supply. And once that supply is mined out of the system in the next couple of years, I mean, it's going to be what backs everything, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I would be shocked if it isn't. I know for sure it's going to be something digital. So to me, I
Right.
just look at this chart and I'm like, okay, hey, we're in this chart. This chart has gone up over the length of its life, and life is taking us into digital technology more than ever before. So, hey, man, like to me, I say to myself, you need to be involved in this.
Absolutely, 100%. You don't have an op. You will be involved with it one way or another. Here's the chart of the entirety of Bitcoin's life. Okay, this little blip right here was this blip,
The
but in
first one.
2014. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what this blip looked like. This blip right here will look like this in another 10 years. It will be irrelevant to what's currently going on.
Well, that's just 5 years ago, Jordan.
Exactly.
That's
That's
5
what I'm
years
saying.
between those two rises. And so, if you extrapolate that out forward and another 5 years from
Right.
January 2018 is like 2022, 23. It could be like that. It could be that same percentage and a lot more.
Absolutely. It can be, more and more people are just buying into it.
Yeah.
More and more people are buying into it and understanding the price that it has. Let's quickly shift gears here and let's talk about some other things that are going on in the crypto space. Specifically, each week I personally try to focus on a topic that's specific to the space.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see, hold on. Recently there's been a lot of talk about Chainlink, and Chainlink is a digital asset that runs on the Ethereum blockchain, that has basically oracles, and they allow all blockchains to talk to each other. And if you guys aren't familiar with them, you guys need to get familiar with them, because they're doing a lot of positive stuff. Okay, they recently partnered with Google to integrate the Chainlink technology into the Google platform. They announced that they're going to be using Oracle, the company Oracle, or Oracle is going to be using them. I'm sorry. So there's just a lot of positive things like this that come out every single day, where companies are integrating distributed, decentralized blockchain technologies into their businesses, because they know like that is the future. Oracle's been around, I believe, since the .com days, and they continue to pave a way for the forefront of what's taking place.
Now, does Oracle, they don't own Chainlink, do they? It's a different
No,
company.
they're integrating their technologies into the Oracle platform company.
Okay.
So if you go on Crypto Twitter, you can read more about exactly what they're doing here, and you can read more about how Google's integrating it. My point is this: in the 2-3 years that we've been involved, it's only becoming more and more every single day news stories that big companies are saying yes to blockchain technology.
These things are trends, Jordan. This is a trend. You're good at noticing the trends in the financial side of it. This is a trend. This is something that's trending, that's going up. This thing came, it wasn't anything, and then it also has a chart, right?
Right.
History of rising. So the thing about this space is that, man, you can follow those kind of things across the board.
Absolutely.
It's not that hard. We don't know that much more than anybody could know.
Well, and that's what I'm kind of saying. Like, it's not that hard, because you can go directly on to Twitter and follow CEOs, and they're willingly, sharing information with you with what's going on, because everybody's trying to build this community together, and it's so small currently. 1% of the world knows about crypto, and even less percent even has crypto. So everybody's working in the same direction of where we're trying to go.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt about it.
And another big thing that uh, Chainlink that came out is that you're going to be able to buy it on Coinbase here probably the next week. So that's another big win, because Coinbase, there's a lot of concern in the crypto community of like which coins are securities and which coins are legitimate. And when a coin gets listed on Coinbase, it's because Coinbase has done their due diligence in the processes of identifying what coins are actually, legitimate coins. They're not securities. They're okay to be publicly made available, and Chainlink is one of those coins. So
Yeah. I mean, as far as we can know, right? Yeah, as
yeah,
far as we can, just like in the stock market, you don't really know at the end of the day, but as far as we can tell, because of the trends,
right.
it's come from here to here. So, this is what it seems like it's doing. I say
Well,
that only because some people, will say, "Oh, you don't know, you don't really know that for sure." And
well, we only know what we know up to where we're at.
well, and I think it's healthy to have a good, healthy distrust of anything, but not to be extreme, so that you just don't do anything.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's the thing. You got to question both sides all the time. You got to constantly be. This is why for the last year and a half in the bear market, like I stayed on top of things, because I see so many people trying to flood back into the market, going, "Oh, Bitcoin's going up," because the only thing they care about is price. But if you stay on top of it, you actually know what's taking place, and you know where the value's at in terms of investing, in terms of what companies are doing what.
Yeah, exactly. Listen, if my wife is one of our followers on this page, we're getting through to people. They're starting to like think about it more. So we're doing something.
Absolutely. Here's another big story that came out today. Walmart, they announced, I think it's Walmart, what is it? Walmart of China
Mhm.
or Thailand or something. A branch, a branch of Walmart, a region of Walmart. They announced that they're going to be implementing the VenChain technology as well. Again, this is Walmart we're talking about. VenChain is a supply chain, and I think I've shared videos of what they do is you're able to track a specific product from beginning to end, right? So they put out a pair of shoes, I think it was like probably like 6 months ago, 8 months ago, where you could scan the QR code, and by scanning it you could see exactly what time that pair of shoes came off the assembly line. You could see where it came from, what factory, what time it was packaged, every single detail.
Yeah.
That's important because it eliminates a lot of the fraud that will take place. Like if you want to know you're buying a Versace shoes, right, through the blockchain technology by scanning a QR code, you can specifically identify that Versace bag, that Versace pair of shoes came from the Versace warehouse at this time on this day and was made by that person, was assembled, packaged, whatever it was, by that person. And so it's giving products a more distinct branding ability. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's taking products and making them 100% their own, where counterfeits are going to become harder and harder to come by.
Right.
And this can all be translated into real estate. Like if you put information on the blockchain with like a piece of real estate, like you could go down the years of like all the problems or the maintenance that's been done on it, and it can't be tampered with.
Yeah. So that's going on in China right there with that's important for uh article I like to talk about before we get off. But so anyway,
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead and talk about it.
yeah, well, this past week I had a bit of an epiphany, and just around the fact that I didn't realize that in China, I knew, I just like many Americans, I knew pieces of things that are going on in China, with the fact that they're going cashless, right? So I did not realize how cashless they are. And I just happened to come across an article. I think I posted it on there. It's called "Facebook Isn't Going After Bitcoin, It's Going After the Dollar." So that article on Crypto Cowboys is something you should read. It's from back in March, and the guy who's writing it, Ted Livingston, he's talking about then that Facebook is going to launch their own cryptocurrency. Of course, we know that that's an absolute. But in just reading about, I was just reading about Facebook and Libra and all that, to find out as much as I could about what they might be planning to do, how they're going to use it. And in doing that, I came across the fact that, man, China has 1 billion people a day buying everything through their phones. So
And what app are they using? WeChat, did you say?
they're using WeChat, which is the Facebook of China, right?
Right.
And I mean, I was just blown away. 900 million people use WeChat for daily transactions, according to this article, totaling nearly $10 trillion in payments per year. So listen, if you don't think we're going digital like this, I don't know what planet you're living on, man. But for some reason, we don't quite get this whole picture here in America. And I realize they're a communist nation, and they're not run by the best people in the world for sure. And I'm no huge fan of China, but I'm telling you, they are they're the test run.
Yes.
And so when I came across this and I realized how far, and I went and watched some videos about how simple it is just watching people pay for things. And there's 1 million merchants involved already. So everybody basically takes it would be like taking your Facebook Libra money, a few months.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, they're just doing it like it's nothing. Everybody's bought in. Of course, they have to buy in, kind of. It's pressured, but and here in America, we have a different system where they have to wait for Americans to get on board. So I think that's why it's slower here. But I think you just need to kind of mistrust the information that you're used to getting every day, and kind of shake yourself and wake yourself up and say, listen, you need to learn about cryptocurrencies, because if China is already doing it to the tune of 1 billion people daily,
A day,
using something more like maybe between cryptos and Cash App,
yeah,
but using Facebook in conjunction with Alibaba, it'd be like Facebook and Amazon teaming up, right?
right.
And when I saw this, I just realized, I said, man, this hour is late for this, Jordan.
Yes.
So
Because what's happening is like, Facebook, you no longer have to, if these ecosystems get so built out, and Facebook can essentially issue their own currency where it has value within that ecosystem, like, people can rely less upon the dollar, because they will be able to sell their digital currency for dollars if they want to spend that money in the real world. But as we go more digital, people are going to be they're going to be more and more likely to spend money on the internet, right?
Right.
And for me, like, China, it's a big thing, because, like, throughout the history of the world, everybody's trying to get a leg up on another country to be the most dominant. And in old times, that was through wars, that was through this, that was through that. And I think the new war that we're having is, like, who's going to be the dominant country in currency, in value. And I think this is what's taking place. China understands, because they're so technologically willing to be advanced, that they're trying to stay on the forefront of all these things happening, because whoever wins this battle is going to be the dominant player, I think, over the next 50, 60, 70 years.
Yeah. Well, I think maybe I think of it the same, but a little bit different. I think there's a competition, but then the ultimate end goal is then we're all gonna be joined together in a global economy.
Yes.
So when I see China,
but who controls that global economy?
well, this is where it becomes, hey, listen, I know what the Bible says. I know who controls it, right? So the love of any kind of money is the root of all evil. But the thing is, we have to deal with money. So This is what's happening. This is real life. You can't exit out of this. You're living today. You've been put here for a purpose. So there's no way you can ignore what's going on in China. Listen, they did this between 2014 and 2018. They created those stats I gave you.
Right.
So while we were over here, electing Donald Trump and, going through all the distraction of dividing our country around, so many stupid emotional issues, these guys were doing it. And, hopefully it's not going to be something where we end up, in a very negative situation like a war, but it could be, because historically wars always seem to happen around money. But the thing is, either way, you're going to need to know something about how digital finance works to either succeed or to maybe even to stay alive. It's just there. It's not going to happen. It's happening.
It's happening.
Yeah.
It's actually it's already happened, and now we're seeing the stages of where it becomes reality. Like it happened, and
Right.
now it's being implemented into our daily lives.
Right. This guy makes a good point, Jordan. He's like, hey, listen, nobody thought, that we would be taken off the gold standard. But one day in the 70s, that happened. I think Nixon was president. That happened. And the dollar was pegged to the value of gold. So, one day that's going to happen to the dollar. And, a lot of smarter people than me and you think that day might not be too far down the road. And there's going to be a different kind of world reserve currency. So,
well, and the reason that there'll be a different kind of world reserve currency and is this, and I was thinking about this in depth the other day. It's like there's a lot of there's a guy, his name is Peter Schiff. He's a gold maximalist out there.
Mm-hmm.
I still believe in gold in the long term, but here's the big problem with gold. It's like, when was the last time you were able to walk into a store and buy it, or buy something with it?
Right.
Like 50, 60, 70, not in my lifetime. Were you, in your lifetime, were you able to buy something with gold, walk into a store?
Yeah, well, yeah, I should have bought gold. That's my thing.
No, I'm saying, were you able
to store of gold when I was younger? But no, yeah.
But in your lifetime, were you able to walk into a store and buy something with gold?
No, it would. I mean, I'm not saying you couldn't, but I'd never done it, so I wouldn't be the guy to ask. I don't. I don't think you could.
I don't think you could either. And my point is this: like, that time where that has even been accepted is it's already past us. Where Bitcoin, even though currently a lot of people don't accept Bitcoin, some do, there's still a high probability that many more will. So it's like gold is over here and Bitcoin is over here, and gold being or Bitcoin being accepted in stores in the future is a lot more likely than gold ever will be. So that's where I believe like Bitcoin is the digital gold, in the fact that people may not spend it because it's an asset that hedges against fiat money.
Yeah.
But if you needed to spend it at a store, people would know how to accept it, because they don't have to make sure it's fake gold. They don't have to do all these things. They can just view it on the blockchain and see that as a transaction, and it comes through in a mathematical formula.
Yeah, I think the reason people have gold is, like you said, is a store of value against a fiat currency, but also against a day where, something crazy happens and you need it on the black market. So,
exactly.
Yeah. Gold and silver. Silver in my lifetime was in the coins, so I was thinking about your question. And there's one guy on YouTube that goes around and asks banks for, gives them $100 and asks for $100 of coins from certain years that had more silver in them, because they're actually worth more.
Really?
Yeah. So yeah, that guy's pretty hysterical, but he's a crypto guy.
Now, does he so he basically makes out like a bandit then, because no one knows.
Yeah, can I have this $100 in 1964 quarters or something like that?
And they do it for him?
Silver dollars. Yeah, well, they do it. They always do it. The thing, I've only seen a couple of his videos, but they always do it to some degree. Maybe he gets 3, maybe he gets 20. 20.
Right.
Whatever they have.
He's never out dollars. He's only up if he gets a few.
Yeah, so he's way ahead of the game. So, yeah. So he's just saying he's making kind of the same point that we're making. Like, you don't know about this, but if you did, you can be, make a little bit more money.
Exactly. You can be a little more on top of things.
Yeah, I think that's hysterical.
All right, guys. Well, I think we've had a great show. Once again, I'm just reminding you guys to go on to facebook.com/CryptoCowboys. We're on Twitter as well. Stay up to date with all the things that we're doing. Again, you can go on Coinbase. You can learn about cryptos and get paid for it. So, don't be hesitant to just jump in the water and we're risk free. So,
right. I'll tell you what I'll do, Jordan, too. I will post on Crypto Cowboys a little video about 4 to 5 minutes long, I think, maybe 8 minutes, that shows you exactly what's going on in China. And just you can watch anything with their phone instantly.
We'd love to see it. And that's why I'm a believer in Tron. I think Justin Sun he reminds me of a Steve Jobs, man. He understands where it's going. He's got a big market share, and so
he's the guy that bought a lunch with Buffett, right?
exactly. So we'll see where that takes us.
All
But
right.
until next Wednesday.
Okay, buddy.
All right, man.
Okay.
Appreciate you.
See you then.
All right.
All right.
Bye.